The Little 500 bicycle races are back this year after being canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic, but they'll take place a month later than usual, which means there won't be the normal 33 teams in the starting grid for the men's and women's races. Pat Bean reports.
The sound of bicycle tires crunching on the cinder track again fills the springtime air at Bill Armstrong Stadium. Last year, the stadium sat empty as COVID-19 forced cancellation of the Little 500 for the first time since it began in 1951.
We spent the whole year training and we thought we would have a normal Little 500 race, and then, a month, 2 months beforehand, it's just all pulled out from under you.
The races this year will take place more than a month later than normal, and both races will be on a Wednesday, May 26th, rather than the traditional third weekend of April dates. But because the race will come well after the end of IU's spring semester and graduation, some teams had to drop out.
The Army team, I think they had like 3 of their teammates, they get called in for their training over the summer, so they couldn't do it.
For the Christian Student Fellowship's women's team, an internship in Nepal for one of its riders was the final straw. She had to leave the country on May 24th, just 2 days before the rescheduled race.
This race is awesome and we trained for it so hard, but it was just something we just couldn't not support her and tell her to go, and you need to do this and you need to go get this experience.
Wagner and her teammates have been training since the fall for the race, but an injury to one rider in December left them with just 3 riders for the team. Then came the announcement on March 4th the race had been postponed.
We just did this hard workout and then they just moved the race. We're like, this is just crazy. So it's just a lot of hard feelings, and that first initial blow was hard, and that first week was hard. We stopped training as hard as we were just those feelings were just very difficult to overcome.
The Student Foundation made the decision along with the IU's medical response team and the Monroe County Health Department. They felt holding the event, even without fans, would be safer after classes had ended and a number of the students had left town for the summer. Andrea Balzano, the director of the IU Student Foundation and a former rider, knew the decision would be unpopular with some and mean some teams would not be able to compete.
Our goal was to be able to host the Little 500 during the spring of 2021 somehow, some way. Team Pursuit, Missing Out, individual time trials are events that we run historically every spring. We were able to host this year.
Hamilton won the Missing Out event and helped put her team, Alpha Xi Delta, on the pole for the women's race. She's excited to be able to race this year, but will miss having fans.
Having your roommates and your friends being able to come out and support you is always, just an added level of pressure, I guess, to perform, another excitement level.
Both fields will be at their smallest ever. 25 men's teams and 18 women's teams will take the green flag May 26th. So this year, basically anyone who could put a team together could enter the race.
There's definitely been jokes about that, about getting, a team of townies together and having them create a team.
Yes, Breaking Away, which won 3 Oscars in 1979, remains relevant.
If it's not watched, the alumni will force it down our throats to watch it, I promise you. It's still a pretty big deal.
And everyone involved in the Little 500 is banking on things being back to normal next spring, and it will once again be the centerpiece of what used to be called the world's greatest college weekend.
Hopefully we'll look much more like 2019 as opposed to 2020 or 2021.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Pat Bean.
No fans are allowed on May 26th, but both races will be live streamed at broadcast.iu.edu.